Welcome back to The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky the Third. Last time, as you can see here, we have a new party member. Tita has joined us after we freed her from being sealed in a random stone we found. So I'm going to get right into how Tita operates in battle. Because if you like Tita, and yeah, her menu portrait just gets even more adorable with every game, but if you like Tita, you are gonna really like Sky the Third, because Tita got an insane buff in this game. So most party members who were a little bit underutilized in the earlier games have been buffed in Sky the Third. Tita in SC and FC had the durability of wet tissue paper from the perspective of wet tissue paper, and saying that she had the durability of wet tissue paper would have been an insult to wet tissue paper. And she didn't really have much going for her to really compensate for that. She didn't hit particularly hard, both physically or magically. So she had a few support crafts that were okay, like Smoke Cannon and Vital Cannon, but that was about it. Now, in the third, Tita is still incredibly frail, but she is a legitimately strong physical attacker now. She hits very hard, making her more of a glass cannon. Her orbment is still pretty crap and mediocre. It has a lot of scattered lines, and it's kinda hard to get a lot of decent arts on her. But she is still very useful at this point in the game because Vital Cannon is our pretty much best healing art for a while, and Smoke Cannon is very, very useful. Now, one other thing that you want to do once you get Tita, well, first we want to do tactics and we want to set her to be a little bit further back than the rest of us. But also, you want to go ahead and set her S-Break. As insane as Satellite Beam looks, I've tested this and Cannon Impulse F is slightly stronger, so I'm going to be going with that one. There isn't that much of a difference in the area effect of these arts. Here's the thing though, Tita is pretty useful now, but she gets a ridiculous buff about halfway through the game that makes her one of the best party members and an absolutely monstrous physical attacker. We're not going to be seeing that for a while, but when we do, I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. I am so looking forward to talking about that. That buff that she gets is just... it's amazing. But the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to synthesize a few more quartz because, well, I wanted an Action 1 quartz for Tita, but I don't have enough Septium for that. But I can get a Cast 1 for Reese, which is going to be pretty effective, seeing how Reese was getting kind of wrecked in the casting department with Ascension. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put information in the main slot there. Even though this is a little suboptimal, I just want Cast 1 in there. As for Tita, she starts with this, which I don't think we had before. I don't personally find this all that useful, but it still can be okay if you want to see enemies coming. I'm going to give Tita information here, and the reason why will become apparent a little later. Now, we do have some more money. We can't buy a new weapon for Tita, sadly, but we can get better weapons for Kevin and Reese. We can also buy better armor for these two, but yeah. If you want more money, both Space and Mirage Seepeth converts to quite a lot of Mirror, but I'm gonna be holding on to those for a little bit. I do have a bit too much Wind, though. I guess I can sell a little bit of Wind Seepeth. And that'll give us enough for enhanced denim for both Kevin and Reese. Because both of them weirdly had, were being beaten by Tita in defense, which is kind of dumb. And the spring should have refreshed by now. Yes, it has, so this will give Tita 200 CP. Tita always wants to have a lot of CP. Yeah, this is very, very important, especially later on once she gets her ridiculous glow up. But anyway, feels weird me using that term. Okay, so right now we're forced to just head straight back via this portal. We can't teleport back to exactly where we were before. So I'm going to make my way back there, because we're going to be dealing with something involving Tita quite soon. Oh, thanks for the death blow turn. I feel like Reese actually says that very rarely. You normally hear the "Oh pitiful souls, may you rest in peace" and "Goddess, my thanks to thee" quotes. And yeah, I've kind of memorized them off by heart because that's how much well, okay, I would say that's how much I use Reese, but something that I didn't fully cover in the last part is that Kevin and Reese are forced into your party for the majority of the game, so you don't need to worry too much about, like, getting opportunities to use them or anything, or making sure they're in your party, because they usually always, wow, you really like giving me death turns today.
Alright, what's next?
Wasn't this path blocked before? Sure was. What's going on? Is something wrong? The last time we passed by here, this path was blocked by some kind of barrier. But as you can see, it's nowhere to be seen now. Really? I wonder what could have caused that. Well, if we think about what's changed since when we last passed here and now, maybe it was releasing Tita from that stone that caused it to disappear. I mean, we haven't done anything else. Oh, I see. Still, that actually could be it. Huh, you think? Think about it, the stone with me inside was near here too, right? Maybe that was more than a coincidence. This could be among one of the many rules that govern this place that we just haven't figured out yet. Rules? I get what you're trying to say. So in this case, we wouldn't have been able to advance any farther if we hadn't released you from that stone? That's right, I can't be sure, but I do have a good feeling about it. There's that scientist instinct at work. And a good feeling is good enough for me right now. We still don't have a clue who's responsible for the situation we're in, but it all feels very deliberately set up. Which is all the reason we'll need to be careful, I suppose. So yes, we can progress through here now. Okay, down here we have this thing. I fought one of these before, but oh crap. Oh, it's gone, okay, right. Those things are actually kind of terrifying. I should mention that in my first time playing through this game, I never actually managed to kill one of them, and I didn't in my test nightmare playthrough either. They generally can do either two things. They're called Ares pots, and they can do one of two things. They can either run away, or they can go around the field shooting very, very deadly AoE attacks and viciously kill you all. That's kind of how they work. They presumably drop a lot of good things, and this thing's gonna hit us with a flamethrower, given that it's, yeah. So that's what happens if you don't kill them before they do that. You can quite easily walk out of that area, but, yeah. Given how frequently they like to run, they probably give some good things. There is another enemy in this part of the Jade Corridor that I really, really want to see because it does give some incredibly good drops, but it also likes to run. And at this point in the game, a quick S-break is generally the only way you're going to kill it. That's probably true for the Ares pod as well. They'll also never show up as, like, enemy sprites on the map. They'll only appear if you engage another enemy, and you'll find them amidst those enemies. But you might have noticed, I'll talk about this in a moment, but you might have noticed that I was using water arts instead of time against that thing that was weak to both water and time. That's because there's actually slightly more delay after casting Soul Blur than other arts. I'll discuss that when we get into more battles. Okay, as you head up this part of the Jade Corridor, you might want to save before you do anything else. And also make sure that Tita is properly equipped. In fact, it might be beneficial to swap over something like the Solar Seal and even the Lunar Seal to her. I mean, it's going to tank her defense a little bit, but I mean, she's Tita, so it's not like she cares that much. What's this? A shining door with a moon on it. Welcome. Bring to me the girl skilled in orbal engineering. Only then shall the door open. Whoa, I can hear a voice talking right into my mind. It looks like this door's got a will of its own, like the tree, spring, and monument back in the garden. There'll come a day when I get used to all these funky talking objects, I'm sure. I can only think of one person who might fit the door's description. You think it means me? Most likely. It's a pretty terrible riddle. It's sure not me or Reese. Hey door, it's her you mean, right? Indeed, she is the one I seek. Only she may enter. If she fears not the trial within, she should step forth through the door. Trial? Maybe it wants to test your strength to see if you're worthy of something. And apparently we can't even go inside to back you up in it. That's ludicrous. I propose we disregard this door and move on. Wait, I'm going to go inside. But, Tita, hold on just a sec, there's no way... I feel like this might be another of the rules I was talking about earlier. And besides, we've got so little to work with as we try to get out of here. We need all the clues and help we can get. If it seems like it'll be too dangerous, I'll come right back out, I promise. Well... Alright, we're counting on you. But like you said, if it seems too dangerous, come right back out. Don't expose yourself to any more danger than you need to. Do be careful. I will. Moon chamber, huh? Wow, this room's so pretty. I wonder how it's made up, though. Uh-oh. Overcome the trial before you. Then I shall grant you a memory fragment and my blessing. So, for some reason we have Weissman's battle theme from SC playing here, but it is time for Tita's trial against these Moon Guardians, and this is why I gave Tita information. You wouldn't be able to see the full description if you didn't. So, heals those who attack it, but when its HP starts to get low, ... Let's hopefully not find out what that means. There's 3 of them, all with over 10,000 HP to deal with, but this actually isn't all that bad. They don't do a ton of damage, and Tita can very easily blind them with Smoke Cannon, though I'm a little bit far back for that. I'll start by blinding the first one. She can also heal herself with Vital Cannon if she needs to. And by default, she has Tear thanks to that HP 1 chord she starts with, so she should have some healing. But also she gets healing from these things. It's kind of an interesting battle. That missed because, actually I think that it might have missed because of the blindness. I think it actually does make their healing less accurate. Either that or it just missed because my HP is full. But the basic strategy here is just to blind them and then keep hitting them. I said before that evasion is not that helpful in this game. But I mean that when the enemy is not blinded, because blind is incredibly powerful against anything that uses physical attacks, and status effects in the Sky games are 100% effective on any enemy that is not outright immune to them. There are quite a few enemies that are immune to things like blind, but these things are not, and anything that isn't is pretty much neutered physically by inflicting blind on them. They do have a tendency to heal Tita rather than actually attack her. This is basically the tutorial to these doors, so it's not really like a severely dangerous fight or anything like that. And it's kind of meant to get you accustomed to how Tita works a little bit. Yeah, as you can see, like, I am barely losing much in the way of CP thanks to both accessories that I have on Tita here. In fact, I wonder if I could... I don't have 200 CP. I was going to swipe that 10% strength turn, but, okay, yeah, that one actually started attacking. I now have 200 CP. And yeah, Tita's basic attacks from her Orbital Cannon are an AoE effect, which is pretty useful when combined with status ailments, but anyway. Now, I wonder if this is going to actually finish them off. We'll see. And with that, Reese no longer needed to be afraid for Tita's safety. Okay, one of them didn't die to that. Okay, yeah, that's Moonlight Madness, which can inflict status ailments, I think confusion, but as long as they're blinded, it's not really a big deal. So let's just chip you down. So that's not that bad, but later on, some of the trials do get a little bit trickier. But not every one of these doors has a trial. In fact, it's quite rare that they do. What every door does have, though, is something that you're going to be seeing, and it's pretty unique. You may have noticed that this video is quite long, and there's a very good reason for that.
よくぞ試練に打ち勝った。ここに記憶のかけらと祝福を与える。
And yes, I am using a Japanese voice patch for this. The Evolution versions of the Sky games had full Japanese voice acting, but that was not a feature of the versions that we got on PC.
見えてきた。残り320、310、300。いた。オペレーション開始します。座標微調整確認。ブースター起動。
あれ？何の音？
Okay, I didn't realize that they would even voice act that. That's pretty great.
どなたですか？
ティータ、久しぶりだね。
あら、この子ったら私たちの声忘れちゃった？
お父さん、お母さん。
久しぶりね、ティータ。
ごめんよ、少し驚かそうと思って。
まあ、びっくりしちゃったよ。いきなり空を飛んでくるんだもん。それにそんなゴーグルつけてるし、2人とも帰ってくるならちゃんと連絡してよね。お母さん？どうかしたの？
ティータ。この子は可愛い。ぎゅー。
お母さん、ちょっと苦しい。
ダン、やっぱり産んでよかったわ。私は今幸せよ。
そうみたいだね。じゃあ僕も挨拶していいかな。
そうね。確かにあなたにも権利があるわ。
ティータ、ただいま。ずいぶん大きくなったね。
おかえりなさい、お父さん、お母さ
ん。やっぱり可愛いわ。どれ、もう一度。
もうお母さんってば。
エリカさん、抱きしめるのは着替えてからの方がいいよ。その整備服にはいろいろなセンサーが仕込んであるからね。
ああ、そうだったわね。じゃあ先に済ませてしまいましょうか。 例の赤毛男はどこかしら？
赤毛ってアガットさんのこと？
そう、それよそれ。リベールに帰ってきたからには一度挨拶しておかなきゃね。索敵モードオン。対象赤毛 98%。
Okay, I'm just gonna pause here for a second because there's a very significant discrepancy between what Erica said in Japanese and what the English line says. In Japanese, she said something along the lines of enemy search mode on, target, red-haired 98%. This stands out to me because usually when the lines differ between the two languages, the English one is typically the more exaggerated and embellished, but the reverse is true here. And the Japanese line sounds like it would fit right in with Xseed's typical localization sense of humor, so my theory as to why this line is so plain in English is that it's actually a line change in the Japanese Evo remake, and it was plain in the original Japanese PC version. I don't have any proof of that though. Anyway, let's continue.
アガットさんならまだボスだと思うけど、お母さん？いきなりどうしたの？
サイスにはいないのね。まあいたならいたで大問題だけど。
まあまあエリカさん、来月にでも2人で出向くことにしよう。僕も一度会っておきたいからね。
そうね。クーデター騒動に輝く和事件、リベールでもいろいろあったのよね。その間ティータがずいぶんお世話になったみたいだしきっちりお礼させてもらわないと。
じゃあ今度紹介するね。アガットさんの家って小さいけど暖かくてすごくいいところなんだよ。
Oh no, you may have actually just triggered her even more.
え？
ギリ
まあまあ落ち着いて落ち着いて。ティータもむやみに刺激しないようにね。
アガットさん、アガットさん、おのれ、私のティータによくも。
Well, there's officially no saving her now.
なんじゃこれは。
おじいちゃん。
お父さん、ご無沙汰しております。帰国の連絡もせずに申し訳ありませんでした。
いやいやダン君、そんなことはどうでもええんじゃ。それよりもなんじゃこの装置は。見たところブースターを装備したビークルのようじゃが。
私が開発したランディングユニットよ。動力技術のない辺境に行くとね、飛行船の発着場はおろか空き地すらないことも多いのよ。うちの船で出かけても着陸できないでしょ。だからこれを使うわけ。
So they're basically just flying cars then.
お久しぶりね、アルバート・ラッセル。まだ生きてたみたいで何よりだわ。あいにく今回の勝負は私の勝ちみたいだけど。
またケチくさいものを作りよって。エリカ、その程度の発明でこのわしに勝てるとでも思っとるのか。そのユニット見たところ有効稼働はせいぜい5分じゃ。それでは話にならん。実用化できんの。
あら残念。私今日はこれでカルバードの国境付近から飛んできたのよ。
なぬ
確 確かにこのユニットの飛翔能力は限られているわ。だけどよアルバート・ラッセル、船から動力式カタパルトで射出すれば約120セルジを飛行可能なの。今回は動力回路を改良して382.2秒の稼働を記録したわ。
120セルジュ 382.2 秒じゃと。
さすがに驚いたよね。老人には少し刺激が強すぎたかしら。
むきー何を言うか。わしが開発したカペルに比べればこんなものおもちゃに過ぎんわ。こんなものわしなら昼寝しながらでも作れそうじゃのう。
何をこのクソじじいが。
もうやっぱり始まっちゃった。
And so, a day in the average life of Tita.
お母さん、おじいちゃんってば。
資料を読んだわよ、アルバート・ラッセル。ティータをあんなに危険な目に遭わせておいてよくも抜けと。おまけに悪い虫まで寄りつけて。
なんじゃい。今まで大陸中を突き歩いとったのはそっちじゃろ。お前に非難されるような筋合いはないの。
お父さん、なんとかしてよ。
大丈夫だよ。二人とも久しぶりに会って照れてるだけなんだから。
If that's true, they're being extremely tsundere about it.
でもこんなところで喧嘩しちゃったら通行の邪魔にもなっちゃうし。
Oh yeah, there is the fact that both of those flying cars are right in the middle of the path.
そうだね。ランディングユニットも格納しなきゃいけないし、この二人も家の方に連れて帰らないとね。ティータ、手伝ってくれる？
よっ。
Again, an average day in Tita's life.
やっぱり我が家はいいわね。ダン、コーヒーお願い。ミルクたっぷりで。
はいはい、砂糖は3つだね。
私も手伝うね。
And Estelle and Joshua are not here to make the coffee, I see.
相変わらず邪道じゃの。コーヒーはブラックに限るわい。
これだから頭の固い老人は。
邪道を邪道と呼んで何が悪いんじゃ。おまけにまだ砂糖を3つも入れとるのか。はあ、嘆かわしいのう。
ほらほらエリカさん。
はい、熱いうちに飲んでね。
一時休戦ね。
どれいただくとするかの。
さてと、アルバート・ラッセル、お土産は？
I just realized that in Japanese she calls her father by his full name, which is kinda interesting.
土産？どうしてわしが土産を用意せなならんのじゃ。海外旅行を満喫しとったのはお主らの方じゃろ。
ユリア様と一緒にアルセイユに乗ったくせに。
Oh, right, I see where she's going with this.
ユリア様の写真とかハンカチとか制服のボタンとかもらってきたよ。
制服のボタン？
エリカさんは士官学校時代からのユリアさんファンだからね。
エリカよ、くだらんことを言っとる暇があったら論文の一つにでも目を通したらどうじゃ。まったくこれじゃから。
今ユリア様を侮辱した？
さあ、何のことじゃ。ユリア隊とはアルセイユ登場中によくお茶した仲じゃからの。彼女はなかなか見どころもある。
このクソじじいがその減らず口を塞いでくれるわ。
どうじゃ、羨ましいか羨ましいかの。
もう二人ともすぐに喧嘩するんだから。
ティータ、どうかした？
こうやってお母さんとおじいちゃんが取っ組み合いしてるのを見るのも久しぶりだなーと思って。
そうだね。ティータ、後で一緒にお買い物に行こうか。今日の夕飯は僕が作るよ。
本当？お父さんの作るご飯も久しぶりだね。
しばらくはお仕事も入ってないからね。今日からしばらくは僕がご飯を作ります。
じゃあ私も手伝うね。
よろしくね、ティータ。
And meanwhile, the two professors are still fighting.
ティータ、もういいよ。あとはやっておくから、今日はもう休みなさい。
このくらいいつもやってるから。お父さんこそ先に休んでていいよ。本当はお仕事大急ぎで片付けてきたんでしょ？
ティータも鋭いことを言うようになったね。
私ももうすぐ13だよ。子供じゃないんだから。
これは。エリカよ、本気でこれを作るつもりなのか？
そのために帰ってきたのよ。こんなものを制作できるのは ZCF しかない。少なくとも私はそう信じているわ。
しかしじゃな。
お母さん？おじいちゃん？
あらティータ、まだ起きてたの？もう12時回ってるんだから早く寝なさい。
それって設計図？なに私にも見せて。
ほら、お風呂上がりなんだし風邪ひいちゃうじゃない。
私にも見せて。すごく複雑そうだけど、あの右端のやつってオーバルエンジンだよね。かなりコンパクトなタイプ。新しい飛行船かな？それとも。お母さん、私にも見せてよ。
もうこの子ったら相変わらず機械のことになると目の色変わっちゃうのね。
お母さん、ごまかさないで。
こちらは片付きました。そろそろ始めましょうか。
あらだ、ちょうどいいところに。この子頼むわね。
あ、そうだね。もう遅いし。さあ、ティータ、
あのコンバーターのトルクが小さいのが気になる。
ちょっと見ないうちにパワーアップしてるな。
Power up, really?
ほらほらティータ、もう寝ようね。
でも
Ah, yes, having a scientifically minded child. But I don't want to go to bed. I want to stay up late and help you make death machines.
まずはこのユニットの制作なんだけど。
厄介そうじゃのう。一度カペルでシミュレーションする必要がありそうじゃ。
それからフレームなんですが、従来のものでは持ちません。新素材を試してみようかと。
何の話をしてるんだろう。ドキドキ。もうちょっと近づけないかな。
ティータ？
見つかっちゃった。
ほら、もう寝なさい。
でも
詳しい話は明日教えてあげるから。ね。
絶対だよ。お父さん、絶対だからね。
はいはい、絶対だ。
いいお父さん、絶対だよ。私が知らないうちに作っちゃったらダメだからね。
わかってるよ。空の女神様に誓って約束は守ります。おやすみ、ティータ。
おやすみなさい。
ティータは時々エリカさんと同じことを言うね。
というわけじゃ。
見食らう蛇か。やっぱり想像以上の技術力を持っているみたいね。
まあのう、正直連中の技術力はわしらのそれをはるかに超えておる。オーバーマペット、ゴスペル、そしてグロリアス。
Oh, okay, that's actually, yeah, so, yeah, the Japanese term for archaism is Obermuppet, which is, I think, German for something to do with puppet, but, I can understand why they changed that in the localization, because it has Muppet in it, which would be impossible to take seriously.
まあわしも連中の技術力には心当たりがないわけでもないが。で、なんじゃお主ら、やぶから棒に。連中の資料は一通り送ったはずじゃが。
実は僕たちも知ってるんですよ、見食らう蛇を。
なんじゃと？
はっきりと遭遇したわけではありません。しかし彼らは両兵団や特定の資産家などを通し確実に勢力を伸ばしている。ここ数年大陸辺境を回ってそれをひしひしと感じます。
だから帰ってきたのよ。まさかリベールに来るとは思わなかったから今回は後手に回っちゃったけど、私たちは一刻も早くこれを完成させる必要があるわ。
I like how Erika can be really serious when she needs to be. Basically, they're working on a weapon to surpass Ouroboros, to make the obligatory reference.
おはよう、ティータ。
そうだった。お父さんとお母さん帰ってきたんだった。
よく眠れたみたいだね。
ごめんなさい。すっかり忘れてた。そうだ。昨日の話、今日教えてくれるって。
大丈夫。覚えてるよ。でも多分あの二人から直接聞いた方がいいんじゃないかな。
お母さんとおじいちゃん？
二人とも徹夜で話し込んでたみたいでね。朝早く中央工房に行ってしまったんだ。
よし。
ああ、ティータ。その前に朝ごはんを食べていってね。
すっかり忘れてた。まだ顔も洗ってないし、髪も溶かさないと。
じゃあその後で朝ごはんにしようか。温めておくよ。
じゃあ行ってきま
慌てて転ばないようにね。
そんなことしないよ。行ってきますか。たまには悪くないよね。よし、中央工房へ急ごっと。工房長さん、おはようございます。
やあ、ティータくんか。おはよう。
お母さんとおじいちゃん知りませんか？朝から中央工房に行っちゃったみたいで。
ああ、知っているよ。知っているとも。今朝早くエリカくんが押しかけてきてね。新しい発明をするから広い場所を貸せと脅されたんだよ。
ごめんなさい。お母さんも実験のたびに迷惑かけちゃってて。でもおじいちゃんよりはマシかなって思います。爆発の前には「ティータ、耳を塞いで!」って言ってくれますから。
ああ、そんなこともあったね。ティータくん、エリカくんは今演算室にいるはずだ。今度は何をする気なのかは知らないが、カペルで調べたいことがあるとかでね。ラッセル博士は設計室だと思うよ。ものすごく上機嫌だった。ああ、なんてことだ。よりによってあの二人が共同開発だなんて。お願いだ。何も壊さないでくれよ。
Well, he clearly has lingering past trauma there.
そういえば、いつもは発明勝負とかで喧嘩してばかりなのに。
Two mad scientists working on the same project. What could go wrong?
今度の発明は共同開発なんだ。お母さんってお仕事のことになるとちょっと厳しくて怖いけど、すごくかっこよくっておじいちゃんに負けない研究者なんだよね。二人が協力したらどうなるんだろう。あ、早く確かめなくっちゃ。
これがパテルマテル。見たところまだ 10% も実力を発揮していない。なるほど、確かにこれは凄まじいスペックね。
お母さん、あれ、それってパテルマテルのデータ？
あらティータ、ちょうどよかったわ。ねえティータ、実際に見たんでしょこれ。
見たけど。
実物はどんな感じだったの？ねえ教えて教えて。
えっとよくわかんないかも。すごく大きかったし。
ああ、確かにそうね。この太鼓を見上げても詳しいことはわかんないか。
Plus, it's hard to analyze something while it's trying to kill you.
お母さん、どうしてパテルマテルのデータなんて見てるの？新発明の方は？もしかして。
その通りじゃ。
こちらも準備完了。すぐにでも作業に入れるよ。
よし、揃ったみたいね。これより我々はパテルマテルに対抗しうる人型兵器の開発に着手します。オーバルギアプロジェクト始動。
Actually, given the name, maybe it is a reference.